Hello, welcome to In Conversation with James Goss. This is James Goss.
Hello. We're now kids presenters. Press on.
He is the author of Haterz, which is out now in the US and out in March. So I think we should just jump straight in and indeed the horrible, inevitable first question, which is, could you summarise Haterz for us?
It's about a man who decides to make the internet a nicer place by killing people until the internet is a nice place and it all goes terribly, terribly wrong.
Shocking. Who knew that murder would go wrong?
Yeah.
So I think probably the first logical question is what sparked Haterz? Was there a particular moment or social media faux pas that happened in your life that created Dave?
I think what really inspired it was looking at Twitter and going, God, you lot are really mean. And you can tell that when Twitter was invented, it was invented by people who went, oh, it's going to be really nice because it can be about people going, I'm having a lovely slice of pizza, or I'm seeing my friends, or I like that film, rather than people sitting there going, I think you should die. And I think the turning point for me was during the 2012 Olympics when Tom Daley, of all lovely people, Tom Daley started getting death threats. And people saying things like, oh, I bet your dead dad would be really unhappy that you messed that one up, Tom. And you're just thinking, what a horrible thing to do.
So do you have a favourite character then in Haterz, and you can't pick the cat?
I have a few favourites. I think I love Jackie, the really, really doomed, hate-mongering columnist for a newspaper whose entire life is based on writing really, really poisonous articles and then wondering why nobody likes her. And I also love the sort of the slightly... I don't know how you describe Van Panther, but she is a...
Hashtag am writing.
Yes. She is, basically, she writes erotic crime ebook thrillers and is very disparaging of successful people like E.L. James and Sylvia Day. And she believes that she really has got it, but she's also an incredibly devious and manipulative character. And she is also deliberately every single writer who is on social media, every one of us. And what is strange is people go, I know who that is, and you go, no, it's about 17 different people. And if you think that you are Van Panther, then you probably are, because I definitely am.
Okay, so maybe just to bring it back to talking about the internet and how tedious it is, this is one from our Abaddon editor, David, who has wanted me to ask you what the most tedious meme on the internet is.
Oh, I think the dog meme, any meme involving dogs, because, oh, you see, you're such a dog person, and I'm not, but any meme involving dogs, because you just go, dogs just aren't as funny.
See, I actually have a question later, which I'm now going to move up, which is, seriously, why cats? I mean, I think it's fair to say that the star of Haterz really is the cat.
Well, I think you just have to look at when lolcats became so incredibly popular, the people behind lolcats launched hot dogs, and you've never heard of hot dogs because dogs just are in no way as funny or adorable or as cute as cats, and it's just simply that thing. You know, it's like there's the VHS and then there's Betamax, and people who owned a Betamax video, you don't even know what a Betamax video is, but people who owned a Betamax video would just go, Betamax is better, and people with VHSs would go, no. And that's the thing, dogs are the Betamax of the internet. You know, well done for having one, I'm sure it's great, but let's face it, it's not going to get invited to parties.
I think it's probably important actually as well to say at this point that you do deal with the Gamergate community in Haterz quite directly actually. Sort
of directly, sort of the really awful thing about the chapter that's sort of about Gamergate is I wrote it before Gamergate happened. And having written it before Gamergate happened, Gamergate came along and was worse than anything I had written. And you know when people go, oh, well, in my book, I think you'll find I completely foretold that. I did, but I did it so much more mildly. And having written something that I thought was really quite unpleasant, to then discover, oh no, it's actually worse, just left me feeling a bit, oh.
Sort of bleak Nathan Barley.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so how is this different? I mean, I think it's a very different crime novel. It's brilliant, but how is it different, do you think, from your average crime novel?
Well, it certainly doesn't feature somebody in a drawing room saying, you wonder why I've gathered you all here today, one of us is the murderer. It's told from the murderer's point of view. It's very much like Kind Hearts and Coronets, but also it's not one of those weird thriller books where it's all about broken detective Sally Hawkins who sits there going, oh, if only I didn't drink so much, I'd stop him from killing all those girls. It's definitely not that. It's not about creepy men with knives. It is about somebody who sits down and goes, I don't like you, and I'm going to find a way of getting rid of you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well that we're talking about it, the fact that he is obviously a murderer, but actually he's almost an unwilling murderer quite a few of the times, and in fact sometimes even finds solutions which are sometimes meaner than perhaps just killing the person to his problems, and that's quite an interesting level about it, and I think that's what makes him...
Well, I think if he won all the time, that would make him really boring, because there's something... what's great about, I don't know if you've been watching The Fall with Jamie Dornan, but what's great about it is he's a terrible serial killer. He's a really awful serial killer. He's rubbish, and that's what actually makes him an interesting character, and I think in some ways that's what's quite interesting about Dave, in that sometimes he won't win, or he'll go, I'm not going to kill you, but I am going to make you terribly unpopular.
Okay, so we will wrap up with the final dreaded but inevitable question, which is, what are you currently working on, and do you want to brag about it? Because it's very good.
No. At the moment I am novelising scripts by Douglas Adams for Doctor Who.
I think that's a brag. That's worthy of a brag.
No, it's a genuinely lovely thing to be doing. It really is. And it means that, no, it is just a lovely thing to be working on.
Okay. And when's that out?
May.
Okay, wonderful. So Haterz is out already in the US and is coming out March 12th in the UK. Do visit our website. There will be extracts up there, lots of lovely reviews, and some more bits and pieces from James. So thank you very much for joining us, James. It was fun. Thanks.
Thank you.